I truly, okay, have no clue what I even just watched.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. Thank you so much for making Locked On Tigers your first listen. Every single day, we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Welcome in, welcome all. If this is like your first time tuning in, or maybe you haven't listened in a while or whatever, welcome in. You picked an absolute doozy to return to. That was, without a doubt, one of the most absurd baseball games I've seen this calendar year, definitely. If not, like, just going back in recent memory. It is almost 2 o'clock in the morning as I talk about this. I feel like I'm hallucinating. Like, I literally feel like I am it's almost 2 a.m. and I feel like what I just watched could not have possibly even actually just happened. I don't even believe whatever that was. A 7-6 final in Sacramento. The Tigers fall to 78-56 on the season. That's a series loss, no matter what happens on Wednesday night, as the A's improve to 62-72 now in 2025. So first thought, if you haven't gotten the general vibe of my impression of this game already, what on earth was that? Truly, just one of the most ridiculous displays of baseball you will see at the major league level. You had one of the furthest home runs of the year across all of baseball hit in this game. The furthest, I mean, in recorded StatCast era Tigers history. There were errors everywhere. It was in a minor league park, but it was a Major League Baseball game because A's. Extra innings. You saw a 5-man infield at one point. You had the catcher airmail just a throwback to the pitcher. I mean, and that's like scratching the surface. That was just complete nonsense for 10 innings. Just complete and utter nonsense. The defense has been so bad for Detroit lately. The clutch hitting has been so bad for Detroit lately. In the rotation, I'm not willing to say it's been as unproductive, we'll say, as the defense and the RISP offense, but I think objectively, I guess it's not I think objectively, that would make it subjective, but I really find it, at a minimum, you got to at least have some question marks surrounding the rotation now going forward. We will discuss all of that and more. I don't know. What went wrong? I guess we start with what went wrong on a show like this. The defense. We'll start with the obvious, man. The defense was terrible. That is now, I think FanDuel Sports Network had a graphic that said that is 9 errors in the Tigers' last 6 baseball games. Zach McKinstry had another bad throw. I don't think that'll be an error. Glaber almost had a copy and paste situation of game 1. He's going to his right. He tries to throw across his body. Torkelson can't scoop it. Torkelson doesn't get either of those balls. And I'm not saying that, he should get every single thing that's thrown to him, but One of the two has to happen. Either you have to make a good throw because you're a major leaguer, or you have to scoop the baseball. 0 for 2 on both sides of that, both times. And we haven't even gotten to Colt Keith yet, okay? We haven't even gotten to the absolute ridiculousness that was Colt Keith's third base defense in this game. Extra innings. There's a chopper hit through the left side of the infield. It goes to Riley Greene. Can someone please explain to me why on earth Riley Greene is throwing that baseball home? That's the winning run, for what it's worth. Now, Wildest couldn't throw a strike. He couldn't find the zone if his career depended on it. So I guess maybe all of this is just null, but why on earth is Riley Greene throwing home? This is the stuff that if you're a long time, I'm talking long time listener of this show, going back years, okay, 2021, 2022. This is the stuff I used to get mad about when this team was terrible. The trail runner, does any longtime listeners remember my beef with the Tigers' inability to ever care about the trail runner in any situation? That went away the last couple of years. And then now in this ball game, for one night and one night only, hopefully, back in just alarming fashion. And then again, now we get to the main event, which was Colt Keith's defense. It's astonishing how much confidence can be depleted in 10 innings of baseball. Because from where I sit, which could be different from your point of view, right? Differing opinions, I always say, are very welcome here. And I think that that's what makes this like fun and these conversations fun is people having different outlooks and different angles that they approach the game to. From where I sit, this is really the first time that Colt Keith has been awful defensively at third base in a game. And I really feel like he would tell you the same thing, which is why I don't really mind using that word in this instance. I just, up to this point, he's not going to win a Gold Glove over there ever, clearly, okay? But he wasn't actively costing the team with his defense until this ball game. The two pop-ups didn't even really cost the team runs, okay? He can't field two routine pop-ups. One, Melton just gets out of the inning. The other one turns into a double play, actually benefits him somehow magically. But there were a handful, like multiple ground balls hit to him that he muffed. There was one that could have been a double play and then wasn't. And then the inning extended much longer than it should have. Like, if you want to know how AJ felt about Colt Keith, he got pulled in the 9th inning when he was 3 for 5 at the plate, just so that he wouldn't play the field again. Now, Trey Sweeney replaced him and didn't get an at-bat in this ball game, right? He got pulled right after he had an offensive at-bat. Obviously, that's part of it as well. But a really brutal performance that actively was costing the team a lot of time on the field and a lot of pitches thrown that shouldn't have been. Let's talk about Charlie Morton, who I guess started this game. That feels like a lifetime ago, but allegedly he was the starting pitcher for your Detroit Tigers. We'll talk about him. Again, we're at like the tip of the iceberg. I don't know how I'm going to keep this under 40 minutes. Nonetheless, 30. We'll do all of that right after this. First, though, got to talk to y'all about our friends over at Game Time. Game Time is the best. There's nothing like catching a ball game live, that energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, but actually getting the tickets, well, that's the tough part of that story. Queues, login screens, surprise fees at checkout, it takes away all of the fun. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. you'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and the best price. Plus, all these fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay. Fees, again, included. You know your total up front. There's no surprise fees at checkout. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Also got to talk to you all about our friends over at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. The NFL season is almost here. College football is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app today by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Segment 2, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate you all for tuning in. As always, making us your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. And we will, of course, be back tomorrow recapping the series finale. Get me the heck out of Sacramento. Also, an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners to make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't like, and answer questions about our advertising. So go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will enter for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes of this episode. Thank you for helping us out. We got to speed this up, man. I am just a sloth right now. We are moving at just the opposite of the speed of light, whatever that is. And we got to pick it up because there is so much to go over. I don't care that it's almost 2 a.m. This is what, this is what, I don't know. This is what separates the men from the boys. Sure. Charlie Morton, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a home run against. He's got a 5.25 ERA on the season. This is a really weird one for me to break down. The ballpark is a launching pad, dude. It is. They said on the broadcast it was like playing on the moon, and I don't even disagree. Like that is an absolute launching pad. The mound is awful. Every pitcher who throws on it complains about it. The dimensions are, this is going to shock you, that of a minor league baseball park because it is one. But that whole ownership group and the way baseball has handled this is a complete joke. It has approached Coors Field level of like run production and level of park factor, as they call it. It is just awful. So I don't want to take a huge stake in these performances kind of overall. But certainly on the pitching side of things, I want to make sure that I have that in the back of my head. That being said, okay, this also looked exactly like almost all of Charlie Morton's starts in Detroit. Swing and miss is still there. The stuff is really good. The velocity and the movement is really good. The spin is great. The strikeout numbers look fantastic. But when he does give up contact, it is absolutely smacked silly. The first 2 at-bats of this game were middle. Two, like, there's an argument the 2 best hitters in all of baseball since the All-Star break, but certainly 2 of the best 5 hitters in all of baseball since the All-Star break. And the approach was, here's middle pitches. And then, I mean, Wilson, you could have told me that was his first career home run. I would have like kind of maybe believed you. Just a pure contact hitter gets taken for a ride. So, yeah, weird performance from Morton, but that's all of his performances have kind of looked like that. Hard contact, home runs, a lot of, lot of home runs, 4 RBIs for the other team, but then in the same breath, a lot of strikeouts. What else went wrong? Wenzel Perez, I don't know why. I think he slipped or stumbled a little bit, but goes back to second. That's now 2 base running blunders in 2 games for him. He gets halfway to third, Left fielder bobbles it. He could have kept going, doesn't, decides to go back to second, is safe, but almost gets thrown out. He got picked off in game one. I don't even think I talked about that yesterday. Just really rough. Spencer Torkelson at the plate, 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. One of the at-bats, even that wasn't a strikeout, 3-1 count, gets a slider a foot out of the plate, off the plate outside, and still just like flicks his wrists at it and gets a routine pop-up to shallow right field. As I said earlier, in the field, missed a couple more scoops, not putting like all of that on him necessarily. Again, those are bad throws that lead to those situations, but just really did not have anything going for him in this game. The Javi at bats, 0 for 5, and men on base seemingly in all of them. He's still who he is, man. His OPS is now under 700. It's now down to 697. We knew that the production he had in the first 2 months of the season wasn't going to last and wasn't sustainable. And now we're seeing water find its level. I truly think that's all it is. The team as a whole went 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position in this ball game. That means that if you combine the first 2 games of this series, the Tigers are 3 for 23 with runners in scoring position. That is an absolute joke. I don't know. I think you could pretty easily argue that they should, quote unquote, should have won the first 2 games. Now, they didn't, and they deserved to lose because they didn't come through in those clutch situations, and they have played little league defense for 2 ball games. So, no, they don't deserve to win. Pitching, we already talked Morton. Bullpen was solid outside of Wildest. I don't care about the chopper that got through that we already talked about, the Riley Greene play. I don't care about that. Okay, I want to start off with that. It's a Manfred runner situation. It's a ball where the infield was shifted. Just squeaks through a chopper that's an out a lot of the time, weak contact, whatever. 3 walks in an inning is diabolical. Here's my biggest issue, okay? And this is going to get like super, super nitpicky, so I need you to walk with me here, okay? All the walks are brutal. The one to Lawrence Butler is an absolute joke to me. You either have to decide to put him on or go for the kill once you're in a 2-2 count. And, if you're in a 2-2 count, I think you should just go for the kill. It makes no sense to me to do this like, we're going to pitch around him. Okay. They didn't throw a ball in the strike zone the first 4 pitches, and it was a 2-2 count because he was aggressive, wanted to win the ball game, and expanded the zone pretty significantly. You have to throw a ball in the zone on that 2-2 count. You have to. Slider in the dirt, which is what they elected to do, does nothing. He knows that you haven't thrown him a strike yet and that you're probably not going to go in the strike zone. You have to challenge him. I want a fastball. It's a righty-lefty. I want a fastball up and away on the 2-2 count and make sure it's in the zone. And if he goes oppo on you, then tip of the cap. You lost anyway, doing what you did do. You throw the slider low. Now it's a full count. Now he's in full count mode. Now you have to execute anyways. Now you have to go back to the zone or else you put him on base. It really frustrated me. That pitch above all the other one. It was one single pitch. It doesn't, dictate the entire ball game, certainly. But that 2-2 count, I do not understand we're going to try to get him to chase 3 feet out of the zone in that instance. Either put him on 4 pitches or get to a 2-strike count and then actually try to punch him out. What they did do was I don't know. It was half-aid to me. Okay. What went right? I think that's what makes this ball game so stupid, is that a lot did go right. Like, they should have won for all intensive purposes. They put up 6. They got some great bullpen outings. We'll start with Colt Keith offensively. Certainly not defensively. Goes 3 for 5 with a home run. His OPS is now up to 776 on the season, which is awesome considering, it was one of the lowest in the sport for the first 6 weeks of the season. So really good to see him turn it around and continue to take those strides offensively. Again, it's a launching pad out there. We want to see more power out of him. I'll just take a home run wherever I can get it from Colt Keith at this point. Let's talk Riley Greene. I already complained about his defense. Let's talk about his offense. Hit a moonshot in this ball game. We'll do that right after this. Got to talk to y'all about our new friends over at Upside. Are you still paying full price for gas, Locked On Tigers fans? Well, stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you pull up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited promo code, Locked On Tigers, and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card for Amazon, other brands, however you see fit. So don't let this offer drive by. Download the free Upside app now and use my limited time code, again, Locked On, for a limited time 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code Locked On. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Third and final segment, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Riley Greene hits an absolute moonshot of a grand slam in this game. Vibes were very, very high when that happened. And then, the lead was given right back in the bottom of the inning. But for that brief moment, we felt light and like we could fly, and as free as a bird. 471 feet. Over the batter's eye in dead center field. Longest home run hit by any Tiger in the StatCast era, which starts in 2015. He goes, 2 for 5 with 2 strikeouts on the day. The 2 strikeouts were very high leverage situations, you could argue. And so good to see him come through in one of those, but, flip side of the coin, doesn't come through in 2 other high leverage situations. So, it comes up in extras, doesn't come through either. So kind of the full spectrum, if you will, of the Riley Greene experience all in one baseball game. And then, his arm value in left field is terrible, man. And it's not like he has a noodle arm necessarily. It's not a strong arm. But like his arm strength, just in terms of speed when he lets go of the baseball, because that's measured now, is about league average for his position. But his arm value is among the worst among corner outfielders in baseball. All right, we're talking about what went right. Jake Rogers gets on base a couple of times. Good to see him get going, man. I think that too far, too gone probably for people to be like, oh yeah, like we're going to believe and have faith in Jake Rogers at the plate. Even AJ Hinch still pinch hit for Rogers in that moment, despite the fact that he had gotten on base twice already. It's still like Dingler's plate and everything. That's all fine and dandy. But it is nice to see him get going. If you can get any production out of backup catcher offensively, it's a win. Look around the league, backup catchers just don't produce offensively, really, period. And so anytime you can get that, you'll gladly take it. On the pitching side of things, a couple of things did go right. We already talked about Morton. Troy effin Melton. That doesn't really rhyme, but it's close. 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. The 1 strikeout he did have was huge. Also, his ERA now down to 2.7, 2.6 rather on the season. The fastball was incredible, man. I actually didn't think the off speed and the breaking stuff was as good as we've seen it in the past. The fastball was an absolute electric factory. And it was dominant. And it was, I think, the sole reason why he was able to navigate through that lineup one time through. Really heads up play, obviously, defensively on the Colt Keith drop as well to get a double play in that moment is awesome. But man, he just continues to be a weapon. And with the question marks surrounding this pitching staff, it's really nice to have one guy that is kind of answering more questions than he is creating new ones. That analogy kind of got away from me, but I hope you get what I was trying to say. Kyle Finnegan, monster, absolute monster performance in this game. Still has not given up a run as a Detroit Tiger. It's been almost a month. He goes a 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. His ERA is now down to 3.38. It was like 4.3 or 4.4 when the Tigers traded for him. The splitter in this game specifically was mythical, like literally a unicorn. I'm not sure I've seen a Tigers pitcher throw a splitter like that, maybe ever. I'm like trying to think. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but in this outing specific, it's been great since he became a Tiger, but it had even more movement than we are used to. That thing was a demon pitch in this ball game. I mean, only other things that really went right that I want to highlight are Winfield Perez and Zach McKinstry's at-bats and extra innings. I think both of them deserve a ton of credit. Alvarado is an absolute dog in the back end of the pen for the Athletics. And yeah, he throws like 101 and has a ton of spin and crazy movement. And he was at 30 plus pitches and they just worked it, man. They just milked those at-bats for everything they could get out of them. Winfield Perez is a dog. I absolutely love the smile and just like how much he's just such a competitor and clearly loves those moments, those big moments and trying to come through in them, slow heart rate type of stuff. So love Winfield Perez, love that at bat, drawing the walk there. And then Zach McKinstry, I mean, I'll be honest, I really thought the inning was over. High velo guy. McKinstry's been struggling since the break, and he waited out. Again, like that is a flamethrower that both of those guys forced to pitch to them. Said, you're going to have to throw a strike. You're not just going to be given an out here. You're going to have to attack the strike zone. You're going to have to come to us if you want to get out of this. And Zach McKinstry, sinker low, just beautiful piece of hitting to the pull side for him. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I mean, that was stupid. That was really dumb. That the entire baseball game I thought was ridiculous and stupid. I loved and hated it all at the same time. I thought it was nonsense and also like everything that makes baseball the beautiful game that it is. I want to go to bed. Stuff, not a ton. Actually, you know what? I don't want to have a 40-minute show, and we got some injury updates. We have an off day on Thursday. Okay, we'll talk about Parker Meadows starting his rehab assignment. We will talk about Brant Herter going to the injured list. We will talk about Alex Cobb getting shut down again. I don't want to either A, make this episode way longer than it needs to be, or B, explain something twice in 3 episodes. So we'll wait and we'll save that stuff for Friday. Finale here, you have Mize against Luis Morales, who is one of the better pitching prospects in the entire A's organization. He's 22, 23 years old, has gotten off to a great start to his major league career, was a top 100 prospect in baseball going into this season, has a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball. They haven't really taken the leash off in terms of letting him go super deep into ball games. But he's got a sub 2 ERA in 2 or 3 outings so far. So yeah, it's not going to get easier. And Mize has an ERA over 6 since the All-Star break. And now he's pitching at like Coors Light. That's hilarious. He's pitching at Coors Light. Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day, even when I'm, I don't know, hysterical and I don't even know what day it is anymore. Don't get swept by the ace. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. I'll catch you all tomorrow, baby. Go Tigers.